Good day, Olgata. Name me Justin Parker. Me like talk show one bill now Parliament la put him through. It's called Gold Refinery Bill. This la bill and one kind bill where lo me looking me unfair of this country because government is signing one shareholder agreement when this company finishes and this shareholder agreement contract long all and me got one copy stuff today and one copy of some line give him no me and this copy me looking me or something inside in a fair lo country and me unfair through lo country na you may need long stopping this bill where me by back me economy blow you me this bill suppose only passing me by appeal all the member lo look good through lo this bill pass time. And this shareholder agreement, me got copy long and we got some issues where we need to discuss one the Yupla, and me outline him, the Yupla by asking Prime Minister, suppose this was something he true, or me Giaman. To me, and this bill is one of the worst deal ever in the history of this country. It's worse than the UBS loan and any other deal that we've signed before. Worse, even worse than the oil refinery bill that you may sign into. All of these things that needs to be looked at. And we need to seriously take back PNG, and this is not take back PNG according to what I've seen. Inside of this bill, let me got issue long one main issue and shareholder agreement. The shareholder agreement only been signed in finish, and we took all the share distribution. Now this is share distribution, and by 80% by going on this foreign company, mostly Australians, only starting one business a company in Singapore with some dubious all shareholders were only under trust, and we need to understand who should also line stuff underneath the trust. So trust, me believe was some line blow you mean jealous la country too, you step inside. That's what only item I need to trust. You need to investigate them before long, you may proceed one them. The shareholder distribution, me no agree because we could own this 100% PNG. Okay, inside of this agreement, then we got exclusivity clause. And the exclusivity clause bro, this refinery agreement. I mean, talk long lifetime blows la project. Lifetime blows la project. I mean, some long exclusivity agreement. I mean, give more 60 years, and then renewal every 30 years. Every 30 years by only renewing this la contract, but the discretion lo renewal and stop long this la old company lo Singapore. Na ino lo Papua New Guinea government. Papua New Guinea government, but no got say whether lo renew or no got empower stuff on them this la company. The government by losing total control of gold. Because this line by only appointing man the board according to the shareholder agreement signed, and more led by appointing senior man belong the board, and on top of this only appointing senior man belong the board, all two by exempt from prosecution of any wrongdoing. So even though running business go down, now the back up business, all government blame of PNG, but not a caramoligo court. And only you may not get power lo caramoligo court. And you may sign in law. You may sign this agreement finished, and now some bill passed, and now by giving this power go back long on, now bill is stop long on, and we only ask him, or some this bill time only you may pass him, you may must exclude him all long any other exemption or tax, you may include him all, give more 10%, 10% corporate tax, whereas all the line pay him tax only pay him 42% now. Now only increasing go 42 from 35. Now this company for the life of the project all but pay him 10% as well, which is 60 years, 30 years renewal every 30 years forever and ever. And that to me is a curse to this country. Because suppose only pay one other taxes and they only pay 10% corporate tax. And they are also asking in that shareholder agreement, which we already signed, we have excluded them from any other tax that will apply to them. And the only tax that will apply to them is going to be the corporate tax, which they will only pay 10%. You may agree long amending Central Bank Act, whereby you may give him exclusive right long all, deal with them gold bullion and monetary policy of PNG. They will take full control of this, you know. So in a way, we have lost our sovereign right over this issue, and this is going once that's passed as a bill. Only ask him was no got law past and present and in the future will ever be made to impact this project and this bill that's being passed. So we can never change anything anymore after this bill is passed. And that's what they have already agreed. The Prime Minister has already agreed with them on this when he signed this contract at the Government House. They will have unprecedented monopoly over the market. They will dictate their price. They've asked that the government must not control the price, so they can buy at whatever price they feel is fair to them and their profit. And that, to me, is a very, very unfair, request from them, which we have already agreed and signed with in the shareholder agreement. The only thing that's going to make it legal now is the bill. Once the bill is passed, it will give power to this shareholder agreement, and that's going to be very, very detrimental to this country. You know, and also with the bill, they will, with the central bank amendment, they will control. They'll take over the legal tender for PNG. That's what they've requested, and the gold bullion powers will be given to them. Then also they've asked for immunity, so they will be immune from any prosecution, even if they do anything wrong in running the business down. We will never be able to prosecute them, because this is what we've already signed in this agreement, that they will not be held liable for any wrongdoing that they do within this country now and in the future once this law is enacted. There's a lack of consultation between the government and us, and all of this has been passed behind closed doors. The NEC was not made very much aware of it. I talked to some ministers. They said it was just bulldozed through, and they agreed to it without going into the finer details of this. So me asking you, Blog, member now, asking copy of the contract. You blame asking the copy of the contract. You blame a past time before you blame signing this you blame passing this bill. You must understand it. You must understand what you're doing. You mean not this will enslave our children forever and ever. It's for eternity. This is a curse. It's not a good deal for PNG. The Prime Minister would be the only person responsible for the state, the interest of the state, which is open to abuse of power. And with this deal being signed, I want every member of Parliament to at least have a look at this bill properly and look at the shareholder agreement. Because once this is enacted, we might have a very hard time fixing this. And it is cleverly put together by these foreign entities for their interest against our people. Now they are going to be given the right to go na whatever price they want to pay. This is abuse of our people. Hard work. Or sweat na gold. Now, we have now given them the power to abuse that. And this is really unfair. We can own this refinery 100% PNG owned. I've already organized and talked to NESFAN and POSF. You know, they're willing to come on board. Kumul Holdings, you know, we must have our own. And I agree, we must have a refinery, but it must be 100% PNG owned. In partnership with our institution in the country, and some of us gold dealers who are already in the business. We don't have to own much shares, we just own minor shares, but we must own this refinery as 100% PNG owned. It must never leave our shores. It must be 100% PNG owned refinery, and this is what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for much, but I think what has already been signed is scary. We have now tied our legs and arms of our children and expect these guys to take over everything. Tumuna blew me before. All come giving me sol na tamyok, na yumi dikim gol na putim lo balus blon no karim go. Now, you mean all karim sla paper kam na yumi sign him. Yumi agree na yumi sign him na yumi giving gold blow yumi go. Yumi sabe money yumi talk sabe tasul. What have we signed? Do you know what you've signed? I'm asking the Prime Minister, do you know what you've signed? Do you know what you've signed? I bet you don't. If you do, then there's something wrong with you. And I'm asking you to take this back and cancel this deal. If you guys don't, I am going to do a nationwide awareness, and I'm going to explain this to every grassroots throughout the country. And I'm not going to stop here. I'm not going to stop. So, Yubla Masawe, this is very unfair. It's the worst deal ever in our history. And I'm surprised that the Prime Minister is telling our other departments to push this forward, knowing very well that this is going to work against us. This is not Take Back PNG. And you talk about increasing revenue. How will you increase revenue when you give away equity and then at the same time you give away all the taxes, exemptions and everything else? And not only that, the PNG government will underwrite this project. Underwrite means we will insure it. And these guys are going to have a free ride. This is rape, and this cannot be allowed. And I'm asking everybody, please take time to have a look at this. It is very, very important. It's a very, very important bill that's going to destroy our country, and it's going to enslave our children and our great-grandchildren and our children throughout our history in the future. As long as there's gold under our feet, in our land, this agreement will remain, and we must never enslave our people again. And the government, you are there to protect us. Why are you doing this to us? You must explain to the people. Because if you don't kill this bill, I am going to do a road show, and we're going to take it to the nation. And we will deal with this. The population will deal with this. They're already poor. You're trying to make them even more poor by legislating them, already poor people, into the doom and gloom that we call the day that we are trying to fight and trying to protect ourselves from. We are now going to take our children and dump them in the pit. And this is very, very unfair. And I call upon you, Prime Minister, and your minister who is pushing this bill has got interest in it as well. He's got very big interest. His in-laws are behind this, and they're pushing it. And I am very much aware of it. And also, there will be this other bill, this communication bill, and we will deal with that too. And he's pushing the same bill, same issue on this front and on the other front. And we will deal with the population. I will go to the public and I will do awareness throughout the nation, and you will answer to the people. And any ministers and any members, you guys pass this bill, I will make sure you will have to go back and explain to your people why you passed that bill. And I will show them what you have passed. So you make sure you read and understand before you pass anything.